Alright guys, let's talk about this last section, this last set of problems. On number 14 here, you did have to solve. I didn't specify on the method, so as long as you picked the best method for you and got to the correct answer, I gave you full credit. To me, the best method to solve was elimination. And the reason why I'm picking elimination is because my x term here is lined up, my y terms are lined up, and my constants are lined up. Now, right at this point, I cannot eliminate anything because we don't have an opposite. So I'm picking elimination, but I would try to eliminate possibly either the x or the y, it didn't matter. I would maybe eliminate the x term. So I had to create an opposite term for the x's. And the way to make this an opposite of this 12 would be a negative 12. So I had to multiply everything by -3 to make that a negative 12. So I'm just going to rewrite it underneath here. So this would be negative 12x. So it's -3 times a -7 will be plus 21y. And this -3 times this -2 makes that plus 6. And now I can add every term. Now here the x terms are going to become 0. And the y terms are going to become 0. But here the -42 and a positive 36 is going to leave me with a -36. What this now created was a false statement. 0 does not equal -36. And so this meant that you had no solution. So you should have picked the answer choice that said no solution for number 14. So yeah, this was a multiple choice question. But tell me why you missed it. Maybe you skipped it or didn't do it at all. Now what have we learned now that we've gone over it? Okay. For 15. All right, sorry. Now, what I needed to see, because it says that they gave you the graph of the equation. They even went ahead and did that line for you. It said it's that equation here in this little box here. But it said here, suppose you graph the following equation on the same grid. So in order to graph this is what I was looking for. In order to graph any equation, it has to be an mx plus b form. And this equation right here is not in that form. And to get it into that form, you have to divide everything by 4. Okay? And when we do that, and you simplify, some of you showed me this, which is fine, plus 2. But what you needed to recognize is that this 2/4 can be reduced. Now, even if you didn't do that, let's say you went ahead and graphed the point. You started at 2 right here. You counted up 2, then over to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or maybe you went down 2 and to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4. You would end up being on the same line. So if I reduce it, I would get y equals 1/2 x plus 2, which is the same equation that they gave us. Since it was the same equation, and what I gave you credit for is you showed me the same equation. Even if you showed me this one, if you solved for y, I knew it's going to give you the same line. And because it's the same line, oops, sorry guys, because you had the same line here, the answer was infinite solutions. Okay. I know we're used to using the symbol, but you should have picked the answer choice that said infinite solutions on it. And then here on our last two questions, you had a system that you had, word problem, sorry, that you had to pick the right system for. And I think the breakdown came down with understanding the two sentences, the two parts. So theater charges $4 for adult tickets, $3 for student tickets. Then it says that Mr. Carey purchased 9 tickets for a total of $31. This is talking about money. Money, there's a money sign. There's also a dollar sign here. So that means those information go together. Now, in our system, they told us that A was our number of adult tickets and S was the number of student tickets. So if I know Mr. Carey purchased 9 tickets, that would be adult plus student equals 9. And we had some you want to make it equal $31. No. The cost of each ticket would be 4A for adults because it was $4 for adults plus 3S for students. If I'm talking about money, $31, then all of that information should be on the same line. Okay? This is the correct setup. Now, I think some of the answer choices, they just switched the order, not switched the order, but maybe they wrote the 4A plus 3S first equals 31, and then the total, adults plus students equals 9. This is the same thing, but you had to pick the correct one, okay? And then our last word problem with the griddable, which I wanted to check that you can do it, because I think you still have to type in or click answer choices here for the interim and for the online version. I believe this same problem was either on the review or on our practice that we did. When you have to work them out by yourself on your own, you always start off with let statements. Here you should have let the x be your first number and your y be the second number. And then here, the sum of two numbers, that word is where my equal sign goes, is 17. So we should have x plus y equals 17 as our first equation. And then it says the difference is 29. The difference is dealing with subtraction. So it's saying if you subtract the two numbers x minus y, it equals 29. Now I can solve using elimination because the y's are opposite and I can cancel those out. Adding up my x's to get 2x equals 46. Now to solve for my x, you have to divide by 2. So here your x is 23. Now, I had a couple of you didn't answer the question that was asked in the problem. It says right here, what is the value of the smaller number? I only have one number right here. I need the other number. So you had to plug back in. Okay? I'm going to just plug it back in the first equation. That would be 23 plus y equals 17. Now to solve for y here, you're going to have to isolate the y term by subtracting 23 on both sides. So your y equals here a negative 6. The negative, anything that's negative versus a positive, this was the smaller number. So, oops, I forgot the R, sorry. So when you do a griddable, because it's a negative 6, I tend to say put your everything in the box. So I was looking for the negative to get bubbled in and then the 6. Now you can put this number here in any spot as long as you shade the coordinating digit. So some people put it at the back, which was fine. Some people put it at the front. Okay. All right. So make sure you tell me why you missed this and what have you learned now. Something you took from us redoing the problem together. Now for corrections, you do not have to do the bonus. If you want to try to do it to see if you have a better understanding of the concept, that would be great. Just make sure you get these correction pages turned into me. And remember that you have to fill in your reflection part, and that if you have below a 55, you will have to retest. So make sure we're doing that in tutorials, or maybe you can come out of a different class, maybe PE most likely. You just have to verify with me so I can verify with Coach Evans. All right, thanks guys.